All set? Good evening. Welcome to the September 12th, 2023 Murraysville Planning Commission meeting. Please all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Patty, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Lemke?
Here.
Ms. Hoy?
Here.
Mr. Midle?
Here.
Mr. Patrick?
Here.
Mr. Olszewski?
Here.
Mr. Kearns? Mr. Levesque?
Okay. We have minutes from July 11th.
Yeah, I reviewed them, no comments on this end here.
Can I have a motion?
I move to accept.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We have a period for public comment. Is there any public out there that would like to make any mention to the Planning Commission? All right. Well, we have new business. This is a request by Choice Properties at 5690 William Penn Highway in the B District for an advisory concerning a proposed addition. This is at the corner of Route 22 and Berlin Farm Road.
Good evening. My name's Edward Patton. I'm with Patton Engineering, 2920 Leechburg Road, Lower Borough. I'm representing the owners of the Choice Properties on 5690 William Penn Highway in Murraysville. They have submitted a request for purchasing a license for alcohol, or the sale of alcohol. They would like to put an addition to their existing gas station. The licensing arm of the Liquor Control Board requires that it be a standalone structure, 2,500 square feet, and it has particular specifications to it with regard to the interior entrance, so on and so forth, one bathroom, an office, so on and so forth. They have a limited amount of time to acquire this license, so what we're trying to figure out what is the best and most efficient way to move this project forward if it's even possible. Jim?
Yep. Should be advancing, but
No advance.
no advance.
No advance. So this is an aerial view from Google Earth. Where they would like to locate the building is in a grass parcel right on there. There it is. I think I'm having it right there, right to the left of the existing building. Now, there's an existing pond that collects stormwater drainage from this site down here. There are catch basins in this pavement that direct all the stormwater back to this pond. So we're proposing a 2,500 square foot building in that area, in that grass area, but not encroaching on the pond. You want to go to the next slide for me, Jim?
Oops.
One back, there you go. This is an aerial view of the site. You can barely see the edge of the building there, but let me find the cursor there. The addition's proposed for right in this area, right adjacent to the building. Go ahead next. This is an existing conditions survey of the existing site. As you can see, this building here is about 2,450 square feet, and we're looking at placing the proposed building right next to it. I'm having a hard time seeing the cursor to the left of it. Avoiding the pond and leaving that stormwater in place to function as it was intended. You want to go to the next slide? So here's a site plan that we show the 2,500 building adjacent to the existing station. We were showing some additional parking along the side and additional paving. We're also showing a proposed buried stormwater pipe to collect the stormwater off the roof and the additional pavement up to a 100-year storm event, but withhold the flow discharge, and then any additional flow would just discharge into the pond as it was originally designed. Other than that additional paving in that building, that's what's proposed. If this can be expedited with minimal amount of effort, I think this project will move forward. If it doesn't, then they might back up, withdraw their application, and look at doing something different. So that's basically where we stand, and that's what we're looking for guidance from you folks with regard to requirements for land development submission.
This is minuscule, but there's a typographical error on the drawing. It shows 24,000 square feet, but it's only.
Yes, right, correct. Yeah, I'm aware of that. I just didn't.
Ed, where does this pond in the back discharge to?
Well, it's been so overgrown, it's very difficult to tell, but I think there's a 15-inch discharge pipe discharging into it. I think there's a larger pipe that connects and goes to the west, back behind the pizza place, and discharges into a ravine or a stream. We haven't been able to get down there because the growth is so heavy, but we plan on flushing those details out. But the stormwater's functioning normally. I mean, we've never seen, even when we've had roughly 2 inches of rain, we've never seen the pond fill up. So it must be discharging.
Are you saying that, just so I understand, to sell alcohol, it has to be in a separate building from the convenience store?
Correct. Unlike a Sheetz where they sell alcohol within the store, Sheetz has a setup where they have separate checkouts for separate alcohol versus gas purchasing and so on and so forth. This particular liquor license requires complete separation. So they're going to have a separate restroom, separate retail area, separate office in that building.
Wall, just a common wall.
Yeah, it'll be a common wall. One of the exterior walls will become an interior separated wall. Correct.
I noticed that parking spaces 17 through 21 say compact. How long are those parking spaces?
I think they're about 18 feet. Yeah, one of the things that I noticed that's not easily accounted for is the parking that occurs at the pumps. Many people pull up to the pump, they pump their gas, they go into the store and make purchases. They never really park in front of the building. So those parking spaces aren't really accounted for in the total count. So I would imagine there could be some adjustment for that in consideration of this addition, where people park at the pump, fill their car up, run in to buy cigarettes or run in to buy alcohol or whatever the case might be, and come back to their car.
So this is going to be about a 5,000 square foot building. What parking's required, Jim?
I think it's 2 spaces per square foot.
225 or 250?
2.
It's 200.
No, I think it's 200 square feet.
So we need 25 spaces.
25 spaces. And that's what I say, if you don't take into the consideration the parking in front of the pumps, well, then we really don't have enough parking. But if you take into account the pumps as a potential parking area where people fill up and run into the store and so on and so forth.
You could have 16 cars there at any one time.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
big pumps both sides.
Correct.
I don't think our ordinance really addresses that.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't, and that's where I was stymied. So I'm looking for some direction from you folks to help me.
So how many parking spaces they have there now, Ed?
Well, the parking spaces currently, I think if you go back one slide, Jim, I think they run all the way over to the edge of the property. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, roughly 16, I believe.
Well,
One for every 250 square feet for
one for
retail
every
store.
250.
250.
So we only need 20 spaces.
20 spaces, correct. I think we tried to squeeze that in with the compact cars.
Well, I don't think this parking on the left-hand side gonna work.
How wide's the cart path there?
14 feet.
Well, we generated that site plan before we had the actual field survey work done, so the actual distance is a little greater. So we haven't recalculated what that is.
Oh, yeah, this drawing's dated April 23.
Yeah.
So you have a revised drawing?
I do not, but the survey is more recent. The survey has just been last week.
Okay.
Looks like the back side of that parking is pretty much right up against that pond, so I don't see how you're gonna extend the pavement anymore.
I don't
I'm
think so.
just wondering how
Back out
to
of
get out
there.
of that spot.
Well, 21 looks like it's not wide enough to begin with. I mean,
The nose of it, yeah.
just, you know,
Yeah,
Or the
I
scale
believe
here.
we've got to come up with an updated plan now that we have the actual survey data. But again, because of the pumps and the parking at the pumps, there may be some adjustments to eliminate some of those spots on the side.
So, well, let's talk about the parking issue for a moment.
Sure.
And the number of spaces that would be required. Number of spaces you need per pump. It just talks about the number of spaces per square foot of building. Do you agree with that, Mr. Morrison?
Yes.
And as Mr. Patton's pointed out, there's, or Jane pointed out, somebody pointed out there's 16 parking spaces in front of the pumps.
right.
So,
I don't think we need to add more parking. But that's just
so
my opinion.
we have, how many do we say we have?
I think 16's existing, correct, Bob. 16's existing right now, I believe. And
Yeah, that number
Not including the
21, that
pumps.
should go because the people that are going to pull into 20, then they could back up
Yeah.
to get out.
The ordinance defines a parking space as off-street parking, loading, and unloading facilities shall be provided to lessen congestion in the streets. The facilities required herein shall be available throughout the hours of operation of the particular business or use for which such facilities are provided. As used herein, located off the public right-of-way.
Sounds like you can count the parking spaces in the, by the
Yeah,
pumps.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Now, the other question I would have is, where's the beer truck gonna park when he's delivering?
well, I think it's the same situation with the store when they get deliveries. He typically pulls over to the side, the far left side, along the, and just trucks his stuff to the front door. I think that's probably going to be the same procedure that they've been doing for quite some time.
Well, I think we're gonna have to show that somehow on the plan.
Yeah, I think the delivery of beer is a little bit different than the delivery of,
Coke,
yeah.
Pepsi?
Potato chips and pretzels.
Well, I think you're gonna have to provide some place on the plan. And
So,
I think you'd have to provide 20 parking spaces. And if you count
16.
even if you counted just half of them,
right, right. So we could actually eliminate that side parking and paved area and leave it grass, which would reduce the stormwater demand. And so we'd only be dealing with stormwater off the roof for this addition.
Well, you're going to need a place, I think what they're saying is, for that beer delivery truck
Right, right,
pull up and
right.
unload.
We can designate that far corner because we could extend the sidewalk out to the edge of the
spaces.
spaces and just, because there's a sidewalk in front of them right now. We could just extend the sidewalk out.
It also looks like, as far as the topography goes, that there's a lot of room behind the building.
Correct. Behind the building's all grass.
Right.
Yeah. So what we're trying to do is minimize the stormwater impact, to minimize the amount of requirements we're going to need to get this thing built. I think if they're planning on a bigger vision, then that's a whole different ballgame. We'll most likely need to do a whole stormwater analysis. But I think if we're just collecting roof water, we can store it in an underground tank and call it a day. But I think if we're going to start adding significant amounts of pavement and so on and so forth, we're going to lose a lot of green, and that's going to,
Where's the garbage dumpster, Ed?
it's on the right-hand side on that diagonal concrete piece.
Here, Bob?
Yeah,
Well, what's that odd, that's where the tank farm is.
Right.
correct.
We can park on top of that, right?
Yeah, they could.
I mean, it's, the garbage truck obviously drives over top
Yeah,
of it.
absolutely, absolutely.
Well, maybe you can do something over there in that right-hand corner with the dumpster and all is. And by the way, if you add any parking, you just make it pervious paving.
Right. 50% has to be pervious anyway, correct?
Yeah.
Sure, not a problem, not a problem. We will definitely consider that.
Do we have any idea what this building's going to look like?
Well, we have done some renderings. It's going to be mostly a glass front, majority glass front, with the sill to the grade being brick above. So it's going to be a higher quality building than the actual Choice Station itself, which is just metal-sided, painted blue
Right.
with glass. So it's going to be a little higher end of a building.
I think that's something we need to see.
Oh, yeah, that would be
Yeah,
part of the full
sure.
submission.
No problem. We can do that.
Yeah. I don't have any issue. Myself.
Says parking areas shall be designed to permit each motor vehicle to proceed to and from the parking space provided for without requiring the movement of any other motor vehicle. In no case shall parking areas be designed to require or encourage cars to back into public street or in order to leave the lot.
We're okay there.
Even if you only count, 8, half of it instead of 16, to avoid that movement of the vehicles. But I know in reality, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about signage? Is there any issues with signage, or what do you plan to do?
No, they have a sign currently in place that they use. There's been no indication that they want to make any revisions to any signage, but if there were, I would assume it would be a separate submission.
How would they announce that? I mean, how would anybody know that service is there?
I guess how do people know that Sheetz, Sheetz doesn't advertise that they sell beer, but people know it.
I didn't know it.
You didn't know it?
No.
You walk in,
Where do you get your beer?
Yeah.
that's the question.
Ball
Or
suits.
wine or whatever.
Right. Oh, I love.
Why don't you go to the state store?
You don't have to go that far.
See, I'm
Well, I
burning
think,
all that fuel.
I think you're gonna have to query them on how you're gonna advertise this on the
Sure,
front of the store.
we'll address that.
You're not gonna have one of those air things that.
Wait, he's saying no now. Next year we'll see that thing up there going like this.
Ed, do you have anything else for us?
We still need a stormwater management plan. There was nothing submitted with the plan.
Correct, and that's one of the questions I had. We'll submit a formal stormwater management plan. Yes. along with this in the complete package. I just wanted to understand the parking, what your concerns were, so we can pull this together and wrap it up and make a formal submission. Anything else, Jim, that you can think of?
The operating hours, are they going to be the same?
Yeah, I think they're open 24 hours, but I don't know what the operating hours are of the alcohol business is going to be, but I can find that out.
Okay. Is there a requirement on the sharing of parking spaces?
Well, it's all going to be under one ownership.
Correct.
Just going to be two different operations. So,
Will the two buildings be interconnected on the inside?
No, they will not.
They're totally separate.
Totally separate.
welcome to the state of Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, any other thing?
No.
I would just refer you to the landscaping requirements to ensure you meet those.
Okay. Thanks, Jim. Okay.
All right,
We'll be making a formal submission. I really appreciate your feedback this evening and your advice.
You got a minimum of 60 days.
I understand.
Okay. As long as you get us the plans by the third week of September.
have you made formal application already?
no.
No, we've not.
You just made advisory application.
What's this about 50 days?
60 days, yeah. If we get the plans by the third week of September, you'll come back to planning the first meeting of October, and council probably November.
Perfect. Perfect. They wish I could do it faster, but that's fast enough for me.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Everybody have a great evening.
thank you. Okay,
You want to make a motion to accept the application?
So moved.
Second.
do we want to accept this without a,
Well, if not, you're going to have to accept it at the next meeting.
Does this start the clock today?
It would start the clock today.
I don't think, how can you accept an application?
We don't have.
Well, we have plans, they're in your Dropbox. He submitted plans, he submitted everything except the stormwater management plan.
Okay,
It's up to you, it doesn't matter, we can accept it at the next meeting and do a formal review.
Well, this is what's in the
Does
Dropbox.
it give him any more wiggle room to not accept it tonight?
No, it doesn't really matter, he's still on the same clock.
Okay.
yeah, I'd wait till we
Okay, we can do that.
have a,
So you're saying if we accept the plan next week, we can still make a
Next
recommend,
month.
or next month, we can still make a recommendation?
As long as you find it satisfactory, yeah.
Okay.
okay,
I
we'll
just
wait.
didn't want to start spending money until we accepted it.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll withdraw my motion.
okay. All right, other business?
Wow.
What's
What's going on here? It's awful quiet.
Why aren't you out there soliciting
Drumming up
business?
business, I
Huh?
don't know. I'm only part-time now.
What's happened to all the car washes? I thought we were
Yeah.
gonna have.
Yeah, where's all our car
It's
washes?
interesting, I went back, I think it was last week, I went back to the original application of Tommy's,
Yeah.
and I found the name of the guy that had come to the one meeting. He was a vice president. And I called up there, and he's no longer with the company.
Oh.
So I had asked to
Maybe
speak
that's why.
for a return call, and I haven't gotten it yet. On WetGo, they had a big shake-up there.
No.
Their CEO left and got a new CEO.
I didn't
So
know.
everything's on hold. The new development plans are on hold with WetGos and Giant Eagles and such. So that's where we're at with the two car washes.
Wow.
Caliber Collision, it has an engineering outfit out of Texas that's going through the process. We'll probably see that in November,
That's across the street from the Garage Mahal, right?
yes.
They got to do a subdivision there.
Conley's.
Conley's.
It's not Conley's anymore.
Okay.
No, they don't have
You know where I
to do
mean, on
something.
New 22 by the Dirty Bookstore?
Yeah, right.
Okay, well, across the street is a lot that,
Oh, they were gonna, that's where that little computer place is?
yeah.
Yeah,
Back down this way a little
Okay.
bit.
Okay, I didn't know there was property there. Okay.
Oh, yeah, there's property back in there.
in its own business.
Right up against Manordale.
I was gonna say, I had to be right up against Manordale. Yeah. They have to be happy.
They don't know yet.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody knows.
Oh, we had, I got a phone call from an engineer asking questions about Summer Hill. So I expect there'll be something coming in on that.
Oh, that's the one up at the top of Ramaley.
Yeah.
Is Ryan still interested in that? I think they had way too many townhouse proposed for that.
We met with them probably almost a year ago, right, to talk about that. So they've got other issues up there.
Well, they can only come through from the top.
That's right. And they have an agreement with the homeowners association up there.
Okay.
So no matter how loud those people scream up there, they really don't have any choice.
Really?
What do you mean they don't have any choice? The homeowners don't have any choice.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So they don't have to go out and lynch the homeowners association officials? Is that the idea?
I would guess.
Did
Well,
that
that-
already.
That plan was approved for a whole bunch of other units down below there. It was
Yep.
just never built on.
They amended their declaration to take that bottom piece out of the project, the developer did. And now that's what they're trying to do, is develop it now. But before they did that, they put agreements in place for use of the roads and to use the right-of-way to make the utilities.
Would those people down below be part of the swimming pool?
At least the initial, I think they did 4 units down in Plum, and they did not accept them as part of the association.
Outcasts. People across the park.
Those were all private roads in there too.
Yeah.
And Fox Lane is sniffing around on Cherry Lane.
Who is?
Fox Lane,
That's a developer.
Oh, yeah, that did DeSweezer's little plan.
up on Klein Hollow. They're looking at, if you're looking at the property, they're looking to see how many single-family lots they get on the left side. You know, if you recall, there was a stream that come down the middle of
Yeah.
that property. And some kind of housing similar to what Richard did up in Harrison City Road on the right-hand side.
Patio-type homes.
The place is a goat farm.
I'm sorry.
See how Klein Hollow?
It's not steep.
No.
Cherry Lane,
Behind your house,
next door to you.
next door to you.
That's what I
But he's talking about Hillstone, which is on Claridge Road, Export Claridge Road on the right.
Right.
He said it's something similar to that.
Tough piece of ground to
So where
do.
are they?
Patio.
They're out of Philadelphia or?
Yes, Philadelphia. They did a nice job up there on Klein.
Yeah, they sold them lickety-split.
I think they're sold out up there now.
They are. I just did the last building up there.
The last house up there went for $1.2 million, I think.
Wow.
I don't want to say anything on the record.
Right.
Okay.
They're nice people, for what it's worth.
Yeah, they were good to work with.
Yeah. Okay, anything else?
Oh, we have some miscellaneous small developments. Fox Development bought the old post office. They'll be coming in with a conditional use next month.
Oh, down across from Ferries.
Yeah,
Who bought that?
Jimmy Fox.
You bought that off the church.
Yeah, he's gonna make it a retail place. It's in mixed use, so it has to go through conditional use. So we'll have a conditional use hearing next meeting.
Okay.
Diner looks nice.
Diner's coming along very nicely.
He hasn't started on any of the inside stuff
I
yet.
don't know, they might have, because they had a lot of trucks there today. When I
okay.
went by, I don't know.
Okay.
Petracas will be back next meeting, the subdivision. They still haven't done it right. They resubmitted it, it's still not right.
Where's that?
At the end of
What was it, Farm?
Jones Farm Road.
Yeah. Jones.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know where that is.
And I don't know, everything I read says housing's going to pick up. We haven't seen it yet.
What about that guy out there,
Another community.
Haven't heard from him. Fiscione.
Fishione.
Fishion?
Paul.
Haven't heard from him.
And has the...
Was it approved by council?
No,
No, we haven't even seen plans on that yet.
Oh, okay.
It was rezoned. That's what you're thinking of. Council rezoned it.
he
They
did?
denied it.
They did not. That's what I thought.
It's R1, or is it RR?
It's RR.
RR
So he's just gonna come in with a conventional
plan.
RR plan, I think.
And, yeah, and the Logan's Ferry rezoning got approved, so I don't know what they're waiting for over there.
And they don't like, council doesn't like the
The bed and breakfast.
bed and breakfast or... No, okay, wait till the complaints start and then,
It's like the chicken ordinance, you know. We'll present them with a $9 million budget and it's no
Yeah.
conversation. The chicken ordinance and it's there for 6 months.
Hey, I saw some chickens tonight right down the street from where I live. I'm not saying where.
I see them all the time I go home.
Uh-huh, so you know where they are.
all right. All right, that's it.
I make a motion.
Second, all those in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, we're off the air.
Okay. What about across from